We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. What is up, people? I do apologize. I was at the radio station just earlier, and I think a lot of folks had saw me on the stream, and I was doing my best and darnest to figure it out on my own. The usual sound tech that is at Bond wasn't there, and I followed all this necessary steps for it to work. But the soundboard just wasn't bringing in sound. So I mean, I even tried to soldier through and uh, uh, and get it, and just go through my program for my listeners who are listening on air in Haiti. Did my best to do that, and that's why I you saw if you guys were watching. I did try to stick around, but then I realized it wasn't necessarily anything I did from a configuration standpoint of the stream, but instead it was strictly the soundboard itself, where you're supposed to be talking, wasn't accepting my mic sound. So I wasn't sure if it was plugged in or not. So when I realized that, I was like, well, it is certainly a lost cause. And let me just come back, bring it back to the office here and just finish the conversation because I have a real good, real important stream and program for you guys, and I didn't want necessarily you guys to miss it. Anyways, Haiti Biz News Show Monday to Friday, bringing you news as to keep you informed, engaged, and reacting the most optimal way for business, investment, entrepreneurial activity. Today is the 6th of September. Let's talk about it. All right, let's talk about it. And we're just gonna again quick announcements. We're gonna be out on it's gonna be out and about next week, so I won't be at. There's no chance for the launch of to happen second time, just because I won't be in town to be at Bunch, but certainly we do hope and we'll try to make sure we get over any bugs, issues, and problems when we are back. And also, again, check out the Rev Cinema. It's on YouTube. It's a movie theater in Haiti, just everything you can imagine that you would want at a movie theater. They have it over at Bunch. That's on my mind. Over at the Rev Cinema, right? So do check that out. I got that video, right now on YouTube, Seejeanty. Okay, so check that out. Right. So social media, right? We had a analysis come out by SafeTech. SafeTech is a research company, actually Haitian-based research company. That I must say, I'm very impressed with this company. They're doing some really good stuff using data. They go out, they survey. They go out, they survey. They go out and survey Haitians out in the community, out wherever they are, and do analysis on the responses, and then present those analysis. And they do analysis on social media, which we'll be talking about today. They do analysis on traditional banking. They do analysis on mobile money, and they do analysis on things that are on the social economic spectrum, and they do analysis on religion. All things that are really interesting. And then you should go check them out. SafeTech, SAFITEK research. Feature them in the past. We researched them in the past at on Haiti Biz News Show, but this is a newer study that they have. They just came out with, and so let's talk about some of the things we're seeing. We see at the age of 15, all right. So ages 15 and over, and for Haitians residing in the metropolitan area, 94% of smartphone users, 94% of smartphone users say that they were connected to social networks. Right, 94%. That's incredible. Get 15 and over, 94% are connected to social media. Right now, of those who are connected, of that 94%, we have 85% using WhatsApp. So WhatsApp is the clear, hands down favorite and winner for Haitians using social media. Right, and I think we all know this. If you're watching this, I think we all know this. Right. Then we have Facebook. Facebook at 55% of Haitian users using Facebook, and I can attest to that. Facebook is incredibly ubiquitous here in the country. As someone who is here, and I'm using Facebook to tell you if you're looking to do a Haitian business and you don't have a Facebook page, you're not engaging on Facebook, you're losing out. You're losing out on a massive market. I tell you that. And then next, at a very big drop off, is 15% is YouTube. Okay, YouTube's only at 15%, and then we have Instagram and Twitter at 6%. Okay, meaning there's a lot of room to grow. Those software have a lot of room to grow, and so early adopters of marketing on those streams certainly have a lot to gain. Or it could also mean that there just isn't much interest, right? But we'll see in the long run. I am always someone who says, what's the cost of promoting on those streams, give them to running a business? What's the cost? And the cost is literally just pressing a button for called upload, right? Pressing a button called share, right? And so I don't see why not, to use those mediums, right? So there's no real difference between men and women, right? Those percentages are going to stay the same between men and women, but there is a major difference between, and also no major difference between, those over 15 and those over 35, right? Those brackets. But there does become a significant difference above the age of 55. It's at age 55, we start seeing that only 67% of smartphone owners are using social networks, right? Versus 96% between 15 and 34, right? So 6-7%. So again, if your target audience, right? If your target audience is 55 and older, social media probably isn't going to be where you want to be spending your money, your advertising dollars. Okay. 91% of those surveyed said that they did not have internet connection at home. 91% said those surveyed did not have internet connection at home. Okay. 60% of smartphone owners, 60% of smartphone owners said that they have difficulty to access Wi-Fi, right? So those who even do have access to Wi-Fi say that electricity and shortages makes it difficult to use, because again, just imagine when you're trying to use it, you are unable to, because either it doesn't have power or you don't have enough charge. This goes on and on, right? The average metropolitan user uses 1.3 gigs of data. What does that mean? What does that mean, Chris? Here's what it means. I have my little internet box. I travel around, have fiber in my office. On one day, I use 1.3 gigabytes of data. On one day. So most Haitians are using the equivalence of one day's data over a month because of all the issues you just talked about, right? So again, SafeTech has a lot of really cool numbers. We can spend a whole entire episode just looking over, and we probably will sometime in the future, just looking over a lot of the numbers that they've collected. I do question exactly how representative the sample is, just because I don't know that Haitians of means generally they go to work, hop in their car, and then head out, right? Hop in the car, head out. Unless you're going straight to their homes, I find it how exactly you interview them to make sure we're getting a generally representative sample. Because I mean, if you pop on any street in Port-au-Prince and you just start asking random people, yes, you get some numbers. Yeah, you get a representative sample of the people who are walking. But again, the people who are able to drive, I question, right? And the middle managers, the folks of means, there's a middle class here, but it's very small. It's a sliver compared to more developed countries. I really am curious. Are we able to get to them? So that's a question for SafeTech. One of these days, I'll get my representative on, and we'll get them on the program, and we'll chat with them. The next news story is about the Industrial Development Fund. Now, this is a fund. This is an institution under the central bank, the Bank Republic de Haiti. Okay, and they have a current endowment of about 7 billion to 5 billion good. I was checking out their different sources to see where I can get some numbers on their endowment, and what that means to to you guys, it's equivalent to about 85 to 60 million dollars of an endowment fund. Now, what does that mean? That means that you know what does it mean in general, right? What does an investment fund do specifically? Now, the fund itself specifically, it's the purpose. I'm going to read it straight out of how they describe it. The purpose of the fund is to promote the development of the private sector of Haiti by taking charge of financing needs of small, medium businesses, SMEs, right? So again, it's a development fund, as you would imagine, and creating value, adding local raw material and operating in a way that's not detrimental to the environment, right? Where they invest in raw materials and extraction, right? They only invest in only sound enterprises, profitable, right? Financing projects of the interest of the development of the country itself, i.e., they eye exporters, they eye companies that are able to hire in large mass, right? And about 20 to 25% of their fund is allocated to agriculture and the agro industry, right? They have different, just to keep it real simple, just to help you wrap your mind around it. Again, they lend money to businesses. They basically do provide business loans, right? That's the majority of what they do. They can have alternative structures because if a business was trying to go to a commercial bank, commercial banks can be pretty stringent, especially for newer enterprises and newer ventures. And so they offer some alternative evaluation methods to allow themselves to lend to those sort of businesses, right? Now, I found this cool because I wasn't well. I mean, I've heard whispers of a development fund, industrial development fund in the country, but I never had any concrete evidence of that or articles referring that. Of course, there was the recent article here, HaitiBizNews.com, HaitiBizNews.com. Go check that article out. That we had Edmond Clément become the new head of the industrial fund. And a little bit about Edmond Clément. He, older gentleman. He went to the University of Quebec, master's and BA in accounting, analyst. And he worked through many organizations within the Haitian government, including the Ministry of Public Works, including Teleco when it was around. He was like the head controller. Most recently, he was a professor at the State University of Haiti, in addition to being the head of the order, effectively the Order of Chartered Professional Accountants in Haiti, an association. So he's been doing quite a bit on his side, and he certainly seems qualified. To hold the position. That's one thing that folks really don't appreciate is that there are quite a bit of qualified people that make up the bureaucracy of the Haitian government. But unfortunately, they don't really get an opportunity to not only express their culture. They're in a culture that is, we already know the culture of Haitian politics. And generally speaking, those few good ones that I found and spoken to, they express their absolute frustration of their inability to change the system, either in grand or even locally, even in the organizations that they're a part of, that they're leading. They express how it's difficult to change things because a lot of actors that may be working underneath them were placed by other people who aren't there for anything to change in any sort of way. And they generally didn't have any powers to reprimand them or force them to do anything because they didn't hire them, and they certainly didn't have the capacity to fire them, right? So that's just a little bit conversation from you and me and what we know is the issue, right? Truly, with qualified bureaucrats and the overall structure of how things work in Haiti. So I wanted to share that story because again, this fund is certainly again, the BIH is doing its best to keep the economy afloat. BIH is regarded as one of the few institutions in the country that is above corruptive practices, that is generally performs in a manner that international, we would expect in any developing country that usually behaves and doesn't overstep. And this being a branch within the BRH, and in fact, it was the president of the BRH who appointed Edmund Kalema. We do expect that the FDI to be productive in its affairs, but personally, I would want to see more of it. I would certainly would like it to take more of a lead role in not only development projects in the country, but telling folks about what it's doing. Because I certainly, as much as I'm talking about it right now, I don't necessarily know of any companies that have used FDI to grow, to stay afloat, to cover short-term needs, right? But that is something I want to express to you folks who are looking to start a venture here in the country, and it's of size and it's of impact, that there are institutions, entities like the Industrial Development Fund, FDI, here in Haiti, that you can utilize to scale, to borrow from, and to grow quicker, right? So keep the funds like this, and as news like this happens, I will share more on Haiti Biz News, and we'll talk about how exactly to apply and how to get genuine access to these sort of entities and bodies. Okay. So I think that's where we're going to end it. I do apologize that we had difficulties earlier in the stream. We had difficulties earlier at Bunch. Again, I'm not too sure why the soundboard wasn't outputting sound. I don't know, but again, we'll figure it out. We'll get it figured out next time. Again, for folks who were able to watch, the after effects, I appreciate you guys. The folks who were able to watch later on in the day, I appreciate you guys as well. Again, you already know, leave a comment. I like to chat. I like to respond. I like to engage with you guys. I like to help you guys, realize things that you didn't realize. So let's keep the conversation going. Drop a comment. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. Hit that share button as well. If you really want, to get this sort of information out and to help move the country away from charity and these very negative images. Share this in your groups. Share this amongst your friends. Have them subscribe as well, so we can keep this going and keep this change in route. All right, guys, that's it. Until we're back at it again. We're back at it again. Peace. Oh.